Hey, it's Daniel Gillespie here with UponArriving.com, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about lounge access with the American Express Platinum Card, and I'm going to be telling you about some lounges that you probably don't even know you can access with this card. So first, if you're new to this channel, I cover things like credit card rewards, hotels, airfare, and a lot of other interesting travel topics. So if you like that type of stuff, be sure to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so that you don't miss out on anything. So the main type of lounge access with the Platinum Card is Centurion Lounge access. Now, some people pronounce that Centurion, whatever you say, but these are some of the nicest airport lounges in the US. I would definitely put Centurion Lounges a step above domestic Priority Pass lounges and domestic carrier lounges such as United Club lounges. But I would also put them a step below those premium international lounges. So for example, I would put Centurion Lounges a step below the new United Polaris lounges or any of those really nice premium international lounges. So why am I so big on Centurion Lounges? Well, first of all, I just really like the overall vibe and feel of these lounges. I like the way they are designed. They're very modern. I like the seating arrangements. They have seating options for just about every need. If you're just trying to eat, trying to get work done, or if you're just trying to kind of get cozy and comfortable for a while, there's something for that. Sometimes they even have special little nap areas. And so they're just very comfortable lounges to get work done in or just to relax in. Also, I love that they have great cocktails. If you just go to an average Priority Pass lounge, maybe you'll be serving yourself up a Jack and Coke or something like that. But if you go to a Centurion Lounge, you can get some kind of custom cocktail done by a mixologist, and it's just gonna be kind of a more premium drinking experience. And I just like how equipped these lounges are. You can find workstations, family rooms, shower suites, and some of these even have spas. So you can find Centurion Lounges in a lot of major cities like Houston, Dallas, Miami, San Francisco. And if you want to find the full list of those lounges as well as the new expected lounges to open up pretty soon, be sure to check the link in the description below. Now keep in mind, when you visit these lounges, you need to show them your Platinum Card. If for some reason you forgot it at home, sometimes they will still let you in when you verify your ID, but just don't count on that because that might not always be the case. Also, you'll be allowed to bring in 2 guests with you for free, and after that, it's gonna cost you $50 per guest. So I've told you what I love about these lounges. Now for the big drawback is that they are subject to overcrowding at times, and sometimes this can be really bad. In fact, American Express has tried to get a little creative by addressing this issue. They've limited access to family members and to certain card holders, and they've also implemented different policies like only allowing passengers who depart within 3 hours to enter the lounge. And I've even heard that they're planning on implementing some type of reservation system in the future. So Amex is definitely aware of this problem, and hopefully they'll continue to make these bigger Centurion Lounges that can cater to more people. But if I had one complaint against these lounges, it would definitely be that they are just too crowded. And the other slight complaint is that the food can be kind of hit or miss. I mean, it is nice to have hot food items that are going to be better than your average Priority Pass lounge, but sometimes the food is just not that inspiring to me, and I feel like they could actually do a little bit better at times. But other times I actually have had some great meals in those lounges, so I wouldn't say that the dining experience is completely overrated. So the second type of lounge is going to be an International American Express lounge. Now it gets a little confusing because some people do consider these to be Centurion Lounges, but they're not real Centurion Lounges, and it's kind of confusing to call them that. So these international lounges can be found all around the world in places like Australia, Mexico, South America, and a few other places. Now these lounges are going to vary in their quality. You might be surprised to see that the American Express name is even attached to some of these because they're so small and basic, but other lounges are going to be a little bit better and still worth your time to visit. We recently spent some time in the International Lounge in Sydney, and it was okay, but it was a little bit too packed for my taste. It was a little small, the food was a little bit basic, and they had a really weird, almost semi-sketchy shower setup there. But at the end of the day, it was still a nice place to go and kind of recharge and refresh on a connection. So I would still say that a lot of these international lounges are still going to be places worthwhile stopping by. Just kind of adjust your expectations accordingly and don't expect to get that true Centurion experience at all of these lounges. The next type of lounge access is Priority Pass Select, and you're probably already familiar with this. Basically, it's a network of over 1,200 lounges all around the world, and the quality of these lounges is going to vary by a lot. Now, generally, the Priority Pass lounges here in the US are not going to be that great, and that's why I said I would put them a step below Centurion Lounges. But some of these around the world can actually be quite nice. Now, I know that on our around the world trips, I really have valued Priority Pass because it just makes it so much easier to kind of relax before a flight and find a lounge, especially finding arrival lounges sometimes. So for me, I really do value Priority Pass more on an international level than a domestic level. Now, you need to remember to bring in your Priority Pass card. Now, there is a Priority Pass app, so you can pull up your number electronically through the app, but some lounges sometimes do have technical issues. Maybe this is not as common now as it was a few years ago, but I would still try to have that physical card with me at all times, just in case I run into any issues. And keep in mind that you can bring in 2 guests with you for free if you have the Platinum Card. The next type of lounge that you can get into is the Delta Sky Club. Now, Delta Sky Clubs can be pretty decent lounges, especially at their hub airports. But the thing to note here is that you must be flying with Delta on that day to get access. Also, you are not allowed to bring in a guest for free, and you must pay $29 per guest. So Centurion Lounges, Priority Pass lounges, and Delta Sky Club lounges are pretty well known to a lot of people, but there are actually several other types of lounges that you can get into with the Platinum Card. The next type of lounges are airspace lounges. Now, there are only 2 airspace lounges, one in Cleveland and one in San Diego. But as a Platinum Card holder, you'll actually get a type of food and beverage credit, so that can be used to cover something like a light meal or an alcoholic beverage. So you're not going to get a full-on buffet, but at least you get something covered. And considering that these are smaller airports, it's I guess nice to at least have something to use. And also, you'll be able to bring in 2 guests with you into these airspace lounges. Now, the next type of lounges are escape lounges that can cost anywhere from $40 to $45 to get access to, but as a Platinum Card member, you can get into these for free, and you can also bring along 2 guests. Now, a lot of these escape lounges can actually be found at smaller or secondary airports. So for example, Oakland Airport actually has a pretty nice and highly reviewed escape lounge, and then some other airports that you may not have heard of also have these. So if you want to check out the full list of those airports and find more locations, be sure to check out the link in the description below. The next type of lounges are Plaza Premium lounges. Now, these are going to be found mostly in Asia, places like the Middle East, maybe in Africa, but they do have some in other places like Europe and South America. Now, the thing about these Plaza Premium lounges is that a lot of these are already in the Priority Pass network, so you would already have access to these. However, there are some that are not in the Priority Pass network, so you only get access with these exclusively through your Platinum Card. And something to note is that the access is not always equal. So for example, Platinum Card members might be able to access these lounges upon arrival, where Priority Pass members can only access these when they are departing. Also, sometimes you get more benefits. So for example, as a Priority Pass member, you might be limited to only 1 drink, or you don't get unlimited drinks or something along those lines, whereas if you're a Platinum Card member, they're going to give you more benefits. So make sure that if you're going into a Plaza Premium lounge, that you let them know that you're going there on the basis of your Platinum Card and not as a Priority Pass member. And card members are only allowed to bring in 1 guest into these lounges, so keep that in mind. Next is Lufthansa Lounge Airport Access. Now, access to these lounges is a little bit weird. There are basically only 2 airports, one in Frankfurt and one in Munich, and the access that you get depends on the type of class that you're flying in. Basically, if you're flying any type of class, you can get access to their business class lounges, but if you're flying business class, you can get access to one of their Senator lounges. Now, they actually do state that access is only through the end of March of 2019 and May of 2019 for these different airports, and I'm not sure if they are actually going to renew that in the future, but if you want to find out more details about this type of access, be sure to check out the article in the description below. So finally, there are actually hidden lounge benefits. Now, these are not really airport lounges. These are going to be at other venues. One common place is at Eurostar stations. So in places like London, Paris, and Brussels, you can actually get access into the Eurostar Business Premier Lounge. But something to note is that you're not allowed to bring a guest into those Eurostar lounges. Now, you can also get access into the Virgin Australia lounges when flying Virgin Australia, but I'm not sure about the guest policy for those lounges. Another cool perk is that you can get access to the Centurion Suite at certain venues like Staples Center, Barclays Center, Now at the Staples Center and Barclays Center, you can actually bring 3 guests with you, which is pretty nice, but note that they don't offer you complimentary food and beverages. You'll actually have to pay for those. But at the Louis Armstrong Stadium for the US Open, you can actually get into the Centurion Suite and they'll give you at least 1 free beverage and you'll have to pay for the rest. I'm not sure about the guest policy on that one though. And finally, there are special Amex lounges at Universal Studios in Hollywood and in Florida. Now these lounges are not going to be anywhere near on par with the Centurion Lounge, and you're just going to pretty much have a respite from the maybe hot temperatures or busy crowds on the outside, where you can go in and maybe get like a water bottle and some crackers or something like that. But note that some people do report that even those lounges get really crowded, so you may not always be able to escape the crowds. So I hope that this video helps you to better understand the lounge access offered by the American Express Platinum Card. Let me know in the comments below if you've had any experience with these lounges and how you feel about those. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and that like button and to check out the link below.